Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to City Skylines Snowfall. Today, I would like to come over to this island here. Well, I say island, it's a large sort of landmass, but I want to come to this island, and I think we're going to build not just an airport, but we are also going to build some kind of suburb here, because at the end of the last episode, I asked what you would like me to build over here, and most people seem to agree with the idea that actually doing both an airport and a suburb would be a good idea. So that is exactly what we're going to do. And since we don't have the international airport, we're going to go with the little airport here, which I think actually works better. And as some people pointed out, the international airport would be a little bit silly next to some hills like this. So little airport is what we're going to go for. And we're going to begin by getting a bridge. So let's see what we can do here, because it does need to be a nice, you know, nice even bridge. We'll go with a road like this so I can get it to measure properly. Now, why is that 134.8? I guess it's because it's coming off of this rather than the main road. That's very strange, though, that it would do that. Let's see, so is that a... Yeah, that's a good height. Okay, so this should be 130... Okay, that's 135. They don't quite match up, but, it does the job. It certainly does the job. Let's just go ahead and upgrade that to highways and flip one of the sides around. This one, I think, is the one that needs flipped around. Yep. Alright, well, that's doable. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Beautiful. So that's going to be the bridge that we roll with. Although, it might be worth just, it might be worth extending off of there a little bit. Like that, and then getting rid of these sections and sort of filling that in again, because it'll actually give us the suspension bridge, which I think could look a little bit better here. So let's try something like that and something like that. That's much better looking, actually. So we'll just go ahead and upgrade this, and we're good. Okay, so that's gonna be the way over. I guess what we'll do is have this area sort of be predominantly suburb, although there is a resource there. I want to know what that resource is as well. That's outside connections. Natural resources, that's ore. I could put an ore industry there, although I've also got oil, rather, over here, so I don't really think I'm going to use that. I guess we'll not bother. We'll just do suburb. In fact, I'm going to go as far as taking that ore out of there. Or is it ore? I think it's ore, right? Yeah, it's ore. I'm going to take it out of there because I don't like the fact that it makes the snow dark, and I know that the terraforming is a little bit cheap, but I don't like the dark snow. I think it looks kind of silly, so we're not going to bother with that. Now, as for the entrance to this area, I think a roundabout might be the way to do it. To be honest, let's see. So that's 140. 140? That's 4, rather. I don't know why I said 140. So if that's 4... I want to go 10 and 10, and then straight forward 4, 4, and then we want to go 10 and 10, and 4, then 10 and 10, and 4, and then we should just be able to link up to that one, no problem, and this is basically a roundabout, is what it is. It's basically a roundabout, so let's just go to highway and get the little 2-lane one there. And then turn the rest of this into the 3-lane highway, I suppose. Although I'm tempted to do 4 lanes, because that means there's always a turning lane, but yeah, that should be fine. So that's going to be the roundabout that lets traffic sort of filter off to the airport here, filter off to some suburb here, and probably filter off straight up and around to some suburb over that way. At least that is... that's my thinking. Now let's see, what would be the best way to go about making a connection here? Because that can obviously come off of that point, and that can come off of there. So I guess what I really want to do is make a connection like that, and then have road doing that. Yeah, I guess that is the midpoint, so in theory what I should be able to do here is... Yeah, well that's not really steep enough though is the problem. Okay. Let's bring that a little bit closer and do that. I mean, I guess that works, right? it's technically a thing, so if I change those into that kind of road, I am willing to try that, I think. I reckon that could be interesting. So we'll do that for the turn off to the airport. I mean, it is a connection. It's absolutely a connection, so that should be okay to do. I reckon. We'll certainly see. Let's change this into... I want to do 4 lanes. It does mean that the rest of the round... I don't know. No, actually. I really don't. Do that as 3. Do that as 4. I guess the whole thing sort of needs to be 4 lanes. Let's just do 4 lanes the whole way around. Whatever, we'll do 4 lanes the whole way around, because it means that there's 3 lanes that can always go straight on, then there's always a turning lane, is my thinking. Yeah, those 2 lanes go to the left, so maybe 5 would be a better option, but we're gonna stick with 4, because 5 lanes is a little bit silly. So, let's make the same kind of, connection here as we have on the other side. So we'll do something like that, bring this a little bit closer, like that, and these should... Oh, that doesn't work. Interesting. I mean, they should work. Maybe it needs to be a little bit steeper. Okay. Or not steeper, but a little bit closer. Let's try that, let's try that, and let's try that. Does that work? No, that's also not going to work. Interesting. I'm gonna make it work. There and there. It's a little bit curved, but it's close enough. It'll do the job. So that road is gonna be one that sort of goes up and around the airport, so that's probably gonna need to be 4 lanes as well. So we'll do 2 and 2. And then this little one in the middle needs to be 3. Okay, so now all we need to do is the same on this side and then plan out the airport space. So let's get that done. Okay, so the airport is kind of done. It does need a few more details here and there because obviously it's a little bit bare currently. I am going to put some public transport methods in here. I could put a subway out to the airport because this is actually a pretty good spot for that kind of thing, but I I don't know, it seems like that would be a little bit big for, not a little bit big, a little bit unrealistic for the way I've been doing the subway, and with the whole thing going underwater, and it would just be a bit of a pain, I think. So, we will definitely have a bus out to here, probably coming from a few places, but mostly the main bus stop in the city as well. But I reckon we could do something interesting with public transport for this. I do have a bus lane here, bus road, so that's where all of the buses are going to be stopping. I think I'll try and limit it to about 3 buses, though. I reckon a shuttle that's going to go back and forth from the main station could be a good idea, and then a sort of looping bus line that'll take people to the airport from a couple of areas, say here to the airport, so you can have one going this way and then one going the other way. And that's actually something that people have been mentioning as well, is that my bus lines really should have sort of alternating paths. So, for example, the purple bus line here really should also go the other way to be most efficient. So, we'll give that a test. We'll do the light purple bus line here, because I believe that's the whatever this is, the Moor Hills bus line. We'll give that a shot and sort of give it an inverse line. So we'll take it to there. We'll take this around. Just going to follow this carefully because I don't actually remember where this bus line goes to. We'll take it to there as well. But I do get how this would be efficient. I understand that, you know, having bus lines that obviously alternate is a pretty good idea. I think this is one that can maybe not go to the main station, though. I think we'll only have 1 bus line per district that goes to that main station, because it seems like that would be a little bit much, especially since it's going to have to do some really weird loops for that to be a thing. I don't think the light purple one stops there. It definitely stops there. It doesn't stop there either. It comes back this way. It doesn't stop there. It does stop there. It doesn't there, and it goes to there. So that's the light purple line, and maybe that isn't the bus line for that place. What is the light purple bus line? It is the Moor Hills line. Okay. So this is the Moor Hills line number 2. That's fine. And this is Moor Hills line number 1. And what I'll actually do is I want to actually specifically edit this line, because you can change the, you can get the color from there. So if I specifically edit this line, we're going to grab the color code for it there. So I've copied that. We'll go to Moor Hills line number 2, and we'll just paste the color code in there, and they are now exactly the same color, which is absolutely beautiful. There we go. So that's those alternating, which should help people get about a little bit. But what I would like to do is actually bring water out to the airport area, because that's something we haven't currently got. So, well, water and heating. So we'll bring this out to about there, take it up to there, and I'm basically just going to outline this this entire area, since it's going to be a bit of a suburb in a little bit. So if we just do that and sort of bring these across, and, you know, just do it as efficiently as we can. There we go. That's a grid and a half, certainly. That's quite a lot of grid, actually. Good lord. Let's just bring that down to there as well. Okay, well, let's see if we can plan out this suburb a little bit, because I don't really want to bring it right up to the edge of the airport. I'm probably going to sort of border the airport with, well, actually, the airport can also have its own district, I think. That's probably worth doing, so that people don't use it as a way through to the suburb, because it is going to be connected to it. But I really don't want people going through the airport as a through road, basically. That's something we need to avoid with this area, because it just doesn't make sense, really. So we'll do this kind of thing here. Bring that out to at that point, and we'll just rename this to, well, this isn't, this is going to be Nerdchester City Airport, because it's not an international airport, it's sort of the little city airport there, so that's fine. What we'll do is we'll get this road, and we're going to bring it out for let's say the equivalent of 2 blocks there, and then we're going to start curving it a little bit just along the waterfront. So that can come up the whole way to... I'm going to say about there. That whole thing isn't going to be leading to the suburb. Like, the suburb's going to be here as well, but that's a nice road that sort of separates the airport from the suburb at least. So let's go 4 and 4. 1. No, that's 5. I want to go 4 and 4, 4 and 4 and 4 and a 4 again. So that's going to be a little roundabout that can sort of, you know, let people filter off to the suburb this way or that way or whatever. This road here is going to be one that sort of loops around the whole thing. So really it can go, say, 2 blocks that way and then curve and sort of slink along the back of the airport a little bit. And that can actually be, I reckon, the other way in just there. So that's that seems like a fairly effective way. That's a few different ways into the airport, which I think is going to be very useful to have. So let's go ahead and curve this road up a little bit like that. And then I actually want to maybe connect this to the roundabout here. Although this might knock the shape of the round. Yeah. Let's not have an egg here. It's gonna look a little bit silly if we have an egg instead of a roundabout. Also, the trees are on the road, which I really don't like. I need to remember to turn the anarchy off. That's a thing I really need to get better at doing. Okay, so this is what we're looking at for the whole area. We've got some main roads going about here, which I think will be super useful to have. Those are what the suburbs are going to be coming off of as well, so let's see what we can do about getting the suburbs in here. I think we're just going to stick with the little avenue roads, since they, well, they're pretty nice, they work pretty well, and actually make suburbs look kind of great too, because they're not these big, wide roads that I don't think you would have in suburbs. I know I don't ever see in suburbs over here in Northern Ireland, so, I mean, I'm going to go based on what I know, and that's... Can I just remind people of that? Like, I get comments like this all the time on stuff like American Truck Sim as well. It's like, your road layouts are weird, or your knowledge of things is weird. I live in a country that is the global equivalent of the arse end of nowhere, okay? The only place that's a little bit more isolated than me would be North Korea. So, that's maybe a little bit of an exaggeration. Wales is pretty rough too. But, seriously, my knowledge of, like, suburbs and road layouts is limited to what I know here, and it's been 1970 for the last 40 years here, so just keep that in mind, alright? That's something worth bearing in mind when you watch anything that I do. Just anytime you visit Northern Ireland, I'm really just ripping on the country I'm from today. I kind of feel like doing that. Just set your watch back. I'm stealing a Frankie Boyle joke too. 30 years. That's a joke Frankie Boyle once made about Glasgow. Frankie Boyle also being someone that I found really funny when I was a bit younger. These days I find him to just be a bit of a prick. I feel like that's his thing though, isn't it? I mean, by the way, if you don't know who Frankie Boyle is, Scottish comedian, was really popular in the mid-2000s, possibly before that, because of how offensive he was, and hasn't done much since. Granted, he did take himself off of TV, he didn't want to do it, but yeah, hasn't really done much since, and I don't really find him all that funny. Just saying, that's, you know, I'll steal his joke and then call him a piece of shit, apparently. Good lord. Tangents. They're fun, guys. They're a lot of fun. Let's also just bring this suburb down this way and get on with what I was doing. Seems like a good idea. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this as the suburbs. This whole area is eventually gonna be filled out over here to be suburbs as well. But I want to start with this because there's no point in zoning the whole thing considering there's not really all that much residential demand right now. And I also think I'm gonna just change some of these roads a little bit to be a little bit bigger. Because this one in particular is has a lot branching off of it. So this one can be a bit of a bigger road. And I think this one could also do with being a bit of a bigger road too. And these ones I'm actually going to just take out completely and just pull back a little bit. So there's a little bit more space between these buildings and the airport there. So let's just try and fit that into there. That's a little bit more space, not a hell of a lot, but that's kind of what I want. Now this whole area is already covered in water and heating. So let me just go ahead and grab these. Where are they? These trees here, and knock the strength of my brush down a little bit, knock the brush size up a little bit too. And I just want to sort of dab a few trees about there to just fill up the area a little bit, and then grab some of the ones that actually are from the game itself and put a few of those in there as well to just dense, make it a little bit more dense. There we go. And I'm gonna knock the brush strength way down and just sort of cover that area, and that area just a little bit. And I want to do it with the other trees as well, just to get a bit of variety in there. And what that should do is, as the low-density houses come in, we're still going to have a lot of trees in between, which is very important to me. Now, here's something I'd like to do. I would like to come in with this little path tool here, and I would like to do some paths from the housing area to the airport. So let's do something like that. Let's bring that to here. Let's bring this one around to that one. And I also want to try and connect these as best as I can. So if I bring a path up through here a little bit, have it sort of connect to those, have it connect to there, and can I get it through there without destroying zoning? I absolutely can. Beautiful. Anywhere else this can go? Actually, there seems perfect. That seems like a pretty good place to me. So that links through there really nicely. These ones can link to just the main road. And this one as well can link to the main road. These ones can probably link together quite nicely from this point down to, I'll say, there and there. Then probably onto the main road as well. So there's a nice connection. Those ones are probably fine. Those ones are probably fine. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good. This one is actually going to be interesting because it can sort of link through like this to there. Then also sort of branch off and connect to there and there. Okay, I like that. I definitely like that. This one's going to need to connect around to the other road there because it obviously can't connect to the roundabout because there's no paths in the roundabout. Although I could put paths in the roundabout. Well, no, I couldn't. Well, actually, let's try putting some pathways around the roundabout here. Because I reckon that'd be something that's kind of beneficial. I'll use dirt paths though, so it'll actually blend in with the dirt that's already sort of there on the roundabout. So if I do this kind of, no, that's not really going to work, is it? Okay. What about from there? Can I get, no, that's a little bit too close as well. Oh god, this is going to be, it's going to be a little bit, okay, that's not what I wanted. It's going to be a little bit picky apparently. But we should be able to do this. I do that, and I do that, and just curve it the whole way around. Come on. To there. Beautiful. Okay, so let me change that into dirt as well. Then this little bit just needs to go up to... Okay, that's also not going to work. This just needs to go up to there, because they can now get to the crossing there. That's the thing. There's no crossing here, so they will need to go to that crossing, then down and around again. So, yeah, this is going to be tedious, is what this is going to be. There we go, bunch of paths around the highway. I know these ones are going to be useless because, again, they don't really go anywhere, but just for the sake of symmetry, I wanted to continue the paths around to there. And if I really wanted to, I could do some tunnels or something off of those to, you know, link the various sides together. I mean, do these even tunnel? I don't think these ones do. That would be a no. No, they do not. I would need some actual paved pathways for that to be a thing, which, again, I mean, I could do. And it's tempting, certainly, but, I don't know if this is really necessary. But, well, apparently I'm doing it regardless. Let's bring that up to ground level there. Make it as parallel as I possibly can. There we go. So, I mean, I guess we'll see if that turns out to be useful. I definitely have my doubts, but I guess that's another way to, for people to walk around if they so desire. But other than that, I guess we'll just go ahead and, zone all of this like that, and then take out the bits we don't want, because it's going to be quicker than, keeping in the bits we do. So let's just take out all of the residential zoning that's wound up around the airport, because good lord, no. So all of that, and all of that, and that little bit too, because why the hell not? And that, and I realized I didn't actually put the trees between the airport and the rest of this the way I actually wanted to, so we're gonna have to do that in a second as well. No zoning at all on the roundabouts, of course. So take that out of there completely, like just that. That's all fine. This bit up here I'm gonna leave unzoned for the time being, including this main road completely, just because I feel like I might end up putting a path along that rather than actually having zoning, so that's probably for the best. That's also, yeah, we'll just de-zone the whole way along this top road, because that's kind of meant to be just trees, and that actually isn't really dense enough with trees for my liking, so that's going to be something to fix in a second as well. Let's take all of this out, all of that out. That little bit. This could possibly be shops of some sort, though. Considering we only have a little... Actually, we don't have any zoning over here, because I bloody got rid of it, didn't I? But considering we don't really have much in the way of shops other than what we're getting here at the airport, which is a tiny little bit, it may be worth adding in some shops to this main road, so I think I'll actually do that. I reckon that's probably a good idea, so let's just de-zone all of that and put some shops just there. Yeah, I like that. Then the rest of this is completely fine, except for the middle of that roundabout and obviously the edges of the roundabout as well. So let's just de-zone all of that. Okay, so, well, probably that bit too, in all honesty. Beautiful. So those are two areas of suburban housing, which will take a little while to grow up since we've got very, very little demand. But that's sort of the way... That's kind of the way my cities always go, I find. Like, I always get to a point where there's really not much in the way of demand, and we usually sit about waiting for a while. It's annoying, but, you know, it grows up eventually and it ends up looking pretty good. So I'm kind of willing to wait. Now let's just add in a bunch more trees there and get more of these ones as well. Just to really pack out that area and make it look like some really dense, forest, because I think that'll be a nice border. And then down here as well obviously needs them, like I've said before. So let's just fill that in with some of those trees. There we go. So that, to me, looks pretty decent. That seems like a nice border. Very loud area to live, if you think about it. I mean, if you live here, well, not here, but if you live like here, you're just going to hear planes landing all the time. But, you know, deal with it, I suppose. You're gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today. This area is going to take a little while to grow up, but I think it's actually going to end up looking pretty excellent when it does. Quite glad that we have an airport in here already. It's, what, 14 parts of this Let's Play, and we've got our first airport, and, well, let's rephrase that. It's taken 14 parts to get our first airport and first proper suburban zone, so we might be sticking with Snowfall for a little while, and I don't know. I'm also glad that in this episode we managed to get some time-lapse stuff going on, and even now what you're seeing on screen is going to be some sped-up footage of this area just growing up a little bit. Well, I say this area growing up a little bit. There's not really much in the way of growing up going on, but whatever the case, that's going to be it for today. So thank you kindly for watching. This has been City Skylines Snowfall. If you have any ideas for things to build in the city, do be sure to let me know. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.